What's good, guys? Coach Josiah here from AnastasiFitness.com. Today we're going to go over one of the most misunderstood concepts when it comes to building muscle, and that is how long you should rest between sets. By the end of the video, you'll know how important resting is between sets for muscle growth and exactly how to determine how long to rest for each exercise you do at the gym. Let's go. Okay, so why exactly do we need to rest between sets? The number one factor that goes into building muscle is progressively overloading each time we go to the gym. Meaning we either increase the number of reps we were doing for an exercise or the amount of weight we are doing. Resting between sets allows your body to recover so it can generate the most force and lift the most weight every single set. If you don't rest, you limit your body's ability to fully activate its true strength, which translates to you not building as much muscle. The research on this topic is clear that resting any shorter than a minute between sets is not going to be optimal for most situations. That being said, the general range for resting in between sets is between 1 and 5 minutes. And there are 4 main factors we're going to go over to help you find the perfect rest time to ensure you get the most out of each and every one of your workouts. Alright, so how do we determine how long to rest between sets? The first factor to look for is your performance on a set-to-set basis. Are you able to do a similar amount of reps compared to the previous set? An example of not resting long enough would mean you do a set of shoulder press for about 15 reps, rest a little bit, then on your next set, you can only do 8 reps with the same amount of weight. Since the reps fell off by nearly half, this is a pretty good indicator that you're not resting long enough. It's okay if your reps fall off slightly from set to set, but it shouldn't be excessive. A good rule of thumb to follow is if you lose more than 3 reps on your next set, you should probably rest a little bit longer. Remember, we want to generate as much strength as we can in each set to maximize muscle growth, and if your strength drops off a significant amount from only one set, you aren't allowing this to happen. So before you start your next set, be aware of how the target muscle is feeling. If it doesn't feel like you can give a good amount of effort, take some more time to recover. Okay, the next factor to be aware of is how your cardio is affecting each set. If you do a set of deadlifts and you are completely out of breath, don't jump back into your next set until you feel fully recovered and have your breath back. If you saw my last video, I go into a lot of detail on how the target muscle during a set should always be the limiting factor and nothing else. If you stop a set short because of your cardio, you aren't fully taking the target muscle to failure, which is not optimal if your goal is to build muscle. So before you start that next set, make sure you have your breath back and you can give your set 100% effort without your cardio limiting you. Don't ever forget that we don't lift weights to improve our cardio, we lift weights to build muscle. Best to keep them separate. Alright, the third factor to look for before starting your next set is the fatigue across your body. More specifically, the muscles that are not the primary focus during an exercise. For instance, doing a high rep set of squats can cause your lower back to burn and tighten up. We squat to grow bigger legs, not burn our back out. If we let surrounding muscles be the reason we stop a set, once again, this means we're not truly taking the target muscle to failure, which limits our ability to grow. So before you start that next set, feel things out. Does your lower back still burn after a set of squats? Just ask yourself the question, is there anything other than the target muscle that's going to stop you during that set? Each exercise will be a little bit different, and it's up to you to be aware of whether your body is recovered and if you can fully take that target muscle close to failure without any other limiting factors. If you guys have any problems regarding this factor with a certain exercise, drop them in the comments below and I'll give you some more tips on how to fix them. Okay, moving into the last factor to be aware of between sets, and that is the type of exercise you're doing. Each exercise you do at the gym requires a different amount of overall effort. Doing a set of 20 reps on squats requires a lot more effort than a set of 20 reps on curls. Generally speaking, the harder the exercise is, the longer we'll have to rest between sets. A good way to break these exercises into groups is separate them into compound and isolation movements. This simply means an exercise that requires multiple joints to move at once versus only a single joint moving during an exercise. An example of this is a squat is a compound exercise while a barbell curl is an isolation exercise. As you gain more workout experience, you'll soon be able to determine how long you should rest for specific exercises. I will say if you do a compound exercise and you find yourself being able to do your next set in about a minute without any limitations, probably means you aren't training hard enough. So keep that in mind. A hard set of a compound exercise should require you to rest for a decent amount of time to be fully recovered. So the next question is, should we ever rest for less than 1 minute? 2 situations where it can be optimal for you, and the first is time management. Life gets busy, we got stuff to do, stuff to get done, and unfortunately, sometimes our priority in life can't be to rest as long as we need between sets to maximize muscle growth. So in that case, we work with what we got and cut the rest times down. It's going to be more optimal to fit more sets during a workout with shorter rest periods and only doing a few sets with longer ones. With that being said, a good rule of thumb to follow is if you can't do at least 12 to 15 total sets during your workout with longer rest periods, cut the rest times down to ensure you get a decent number of sets during your workout. Alright, the other situation where resting under 1 minute between sets can be optimal for you is if you use this style of training as a technique to get a big pump, generally at the end of your workout. We now know progressive overload is the main driver in muscle growth, but another aspect that drives growth is metabolic stress. Think of metabolic stress as your ability to get a pump. When you do a really high rep set and you feel your muscles muscles burn and tighten up, that's metabolic stress. This type of training does drive muscle growth, but not nearly as much as getting stronger and progressively overloading the muscle from workout to workout. And that's why resting under 1 minute between sets should be done at the end of your workouts. If you were to start a workout like this, your body would become fatigued and it wouldn't be able to perform at its highest level when it comes to your true strength. The way to incorporate this is to do about 2 to 3 sets at the end of your workout, resting about 30 to 60 seconds between them while using the 15 to 30 rep range. Okay, so here's a plan of action for you guys to follow that you can take every time you go to the gym. Start out by resting between sets for 2 minutes during isolation exercises, 3 minutes for compound exercises. As you do this, take note of how your target muscle is recovering. Make sure it feels like it can give a good amount of effort for that next set. Evaluate your cardio. Ask yourself, is your cardio going to be the reason you stop your set instead of the target muscle? And lastly, be aware of your overall fatigue. Are the muscles that are not the primary focus recovered enough not to limit you during your next set? That's it for the video today, guys. If you liked the information from today, hit that subscribe button. There'll be plenty more videos to come. Thanks for watching, guys. Let's go.